Let's mess with BoxPlot R. So we'll take a data set, and if we select all the data from sheets, we can copy, and we'll go to data upload, and then we'll choose paste data. So paste data, and then you paste. Looks good. I do notice one particular issue is it says 2300 here. So when I do data visualization, it thinks 2300 is a label. So instead, what you can do is you can hit enter and then type the title. Or I recommend just copying it with the title, and that'll take care of that issue. So the first line should be a title, and you'll see how that helps in the next example. So we have monthly rent, and we see all of our data values. Make sure they're all there. And then once your data pops up, if it doesn't pop up, we'll try to figure out the issue. But once it pops up, we'll go to data visualization. And it looks a little different, but it still is a box plot. Notice now it says monthly rent on the side. The main thing I want to do is change it to horizontal. And we have a box plot. We have our min, Q1, median, Q3, and our max. And then our true min is actually an outlier. So the circle is an outlier. That's really all you have to do. You actually can change the colors if you wanted to. You just type a color name. So that's pretty cool if you want to customize it. You can add labels if you want to. So like monthly rent, and then that'll pop up there. You could add a title. So there are things you can do to modify it if you want to. Most of the stuff we won't use. Adding data points is kind of weird. It just shows you all the data. So most of the stuff we won't mess with. But main thing we want to see is we want to see the 5-number summary, any outliers. We want to make sure it's labeled somewhere. So if you missed the label here, then you need the label down here. And then you can just copy the image over to your report. And that's how to make one. So let's see how we make one when we have more than one. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the data. And if you're working on the serial example or any example with more than one column, you can actually highlight more than one column from Google Sheets. And again, I'm going to copy. I like how the titles are included. That will help. And again, I'm going to paste the data. When it doesn't work, it's usually when you have more than one column, you have to change it to tab. So I changed it to tab, and that's telling it like there's tabs between the columns. There are weird gaps for this data set just because of the way the data set originally is. I have the data separated by shelf. So since this is from the top shelf, it only shows up in the top row. Since this is in the bottom shelf, it only shows up in the bottom row. So it's just my way of separating by shelf for you. So most data sets wouldn't look like this. So once it's copied, if anything's acting weird, it's usually tab. Again, make sure that first row is titles. And then we'll hit data visualization. And now we have 3. Again, make sure it's horizontal if it isn't. If you have a title left over from last time, make sure you change that. That was under modify. So sugar amounts in cereal. You can add a title, you can add your name, you can change the color again. I think you can make them all a different color, I think. Yeah. So if you wanted to make them 3 different colors, it really doesn't matter. Colors don't matter, but sometimes that's fun. I noticed this one doesn't have any outliers. That's just because the data doesn't have outliers. And again, you can just copy and hit paste. So the main idea is when you get to the BoxPlot website, you're going to choose paste data. It has sample data already in there. Ignore that. We're going to hit paste data. You're going to copy and paste into this. And then if it doesn't end up working, it's usually because you needed to select tab. And tab is how Excel Sheets is, and so it's just how the data is organized in Excel Sheets or Google Sheets. And then also make sure the titles are up here. And then once your data's in, you can hit data visualization. So we're getting 3 box plots for 3 data sets. And what's nice is now they're really easy to compare because they're all on the same scale. I can see this median's over here where this one's way over here. I can compare the tails really easily. So let me know if there's any other questions.